Morning, Ari.
Good morning, Ed.
You're living the dream, so why wouldn't you be? Is there any final thoughts you have?
Something to look forward to.
What's your goal? I have with me here this morning Cyril Wheelock. Cyril is from Wheelocks farm and enterprise, and Wheelock is one of Wexford's, let's call it, strawberry entrepreneurs. And so you're very welcome, Cyril.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks for having me here.
Okay, well, look, at the reason we have you here is that I hear you have a new venture starting. And before we get into that, I'd just like to ask you to tell me a little bit about yourself, and tell me a little bit about Wheelocks, and tell me a little bit about the origin of where you're moving to, or where you're going to. Where did it all start for Wheelocks?
Well, so where we're coming from, my mother and father grew strawberries for years. At that stage, it was in the ground, and it was for processing.
Yeah.
So for Chivers, Robinsons, Dan Bulgers, all those. It was around Enniscorthy, around Wexford, and strawberries were grown and packed in and sent off to England, where you had, 50 million people for making jams and all like that. And that was an industry that educated children, put children through school, clothed people. It was a fantastic industry.
Yeah, I remember it very well. I come from a strawberry farm down in Wellington Bridge area, and had a pain in my butt getting down into those drills on the ground every summer. Myself and a lot of different brothers as well, but it was great fun in the end. It was great, something to do for kids and make a few bob during the summer.
I'm sure at the time you felt you weren't being paid for it.
No, but God, certainly I got paid if it was on someone else's farm, but when we did it at home for my father, it was like slave labour. We're trying to do it.
Not true.
Not true?
Not true at all.
Why not?
You were paid in abundance. You're still being paid for it.
Yeah.
You learned lessons in that field. Life lessons that we're amiss now. People are not learning those lessons now.
Yeah.
And you were educated, you were clothed, you were fed, all these things. And if the drill wasn't picked right, you were sent back and you had to do it right. All these jobs.
I know, there's no question you can't beat growing up on a farm to learn the law of sowing and reaping. If you sow and mind it well, then you'll reap well. If not, you won't. But no, it was great. It was great fun, apart from anything.
Yes.
It was.
And even the fact that the crop was in the field and there was a downpour of rain or there was something like that and it damaged the crop. And you learn then that things don't always run smooth.
Yeah.
And there were life lessons. Like, that's what life is all about.
Yeah.
And I think we're rearing children in bubbles now where they're not allowed to experience that. We were able to mind them and do everything for them. But at some stage then they're going to come across things in their life and they won't...
They'll struggle to handle it.
Yeah. Anyway, that's not about strawberries.
Yeah. And tell me, just moving on from the origin of the strawberry farm in Wexford. So where did it go from there? It's moved on from those days of strawberry processing into jams.
Yeah, well, absolutely. There was 1,200 growers then, and all that happened then, like, it's like any industry. You just can't assume you have a good business. You just can't sit on your laurels and say, "Oh, we're sorted now. We're sorted for the rest of our life." Strawberries could be sourced then cheaper in Poland and different countries, and that's it. Factories in England just sourced them different places, and then the Irish strawberry growers, they had no markets.
Yeah.
So there's a few of us left. There's about 20 growers in Wexford, and we just have to look for other markets. Yeah. So it's shops, supermarkets, hotels, roadside sales. That's the way, the direction the fruit industry went in.
Do you know what's amazing about roadside sales? There's roadside sales of Wexford strawberries all over Ireland. So why is the Wexford strawberry created such a brand over the last number of years?
Well, it's a known fact that you have longer daylight hours in Wexford. Brother of Margaret's brought some. We sowed them in grow bags, and he brought some over to Ennis, and he never picked a strawberry off them. They just didn't ripen in. They didn't have the sunlight and all like that to ripen them in.
Yeah.
So that's why it's not an accident. That like they would have been happily grown anywhere in Ireland, but the climate didn't suit.
Yeah, like it is well known that Wexford has more sunshine hours than any other county in Ireland, particularly in South Wexford. So that's interesting. And tell me, just so you've been doing roadside sales, but just tell me about, you've moved from roadside sales to creating Wheelocks, and tell me about the working farm that is Wheelocks at the moment.
Yeah, well, why we why we built a farm shop, one of the reasons anyway, was that roadside sales are just legislation, and God forbid if there had to be an accident or anything on a farm, roadside sales could be done away with, and we were left with no market.
Yeah.
And to go into supermarkets and that kind of thing, you need volume.
Yeah.
Like we go with a few trays, they go with lorry loads of fruit.
Yeah.
And we just don't want to, for lots of reasons, we don't want to go that way. So that was the main part of why we opened the village of Wheelocks and all like that out there. And since it opened, it has been going from strength to strength.
Great.
To be honest with you, it's created a life of itself.
That's it, yeah. Are you getting many visitors now per year? Or, I mean, for instance, if I take today, what happens in Wheelock's farm shop today?
Well, sure, you can come in and you get food and all like that. And like from the day we opened, we only opened 4 years, and from the day we opened, it's just getting busier and busier.
Great.
The whole time.
Well done.
It has created a life of its own.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying the journey.
What type of visitors are coming?
It's unusual. We get a lot of local people all the year, but now the minute the schools close and all like that, we get tourists.
Tourists, yeah.
We've had people come. You can pick your own strawberries.
That's great.
So we've had people coming from Cork, Kerry. Just drive down.
Any international?
Oh yes.
You might let me know. What does that mean?
Oh,
what's today or this weekend or next week?
Like we say, you'll have nurses and all like that, doctors from different countries working, and a lot of nurses and doctors come to pick their own strawberries.
Yeah, do they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. And you have bus tours coming?
Yeah, today now we have 2 bus tours, 2 buses of American tourists.
Oh, great.
They'll come on the farm. Now that's a different thing. You see, when they're on the bus, they can't bring the strawberries home with
I'm
them.
with you.
So it's just a small few to taste and to eat.
Yeah,
but like I'll take them on the farm, and we'll talk about the strawberries and the business in general, because they're a lot of them are farming people.
Yeah,
it's that kind of a tour.
Yeah.
And
Great.
I think we've some like 27 buses now booked in this year.
Yeah, fantastic. And tell me, so you've decided to a new venture and a new challenge. It seems like as an entrepreneur, you never stop trying out new challenges. But you're having the Wexford Strawberry Weekend.
Yes, well, as we said there, Wexford Strawberries is a brand.
Yeah.
And that was built up over the years by good strawberry growers in Wexford, producing good quality product and bring them to the consumer. But it's like everything. We can't sit on our laurels. And we have to keep the Wexford brand, strawberry brand, out there.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to do, is to keep that name alive. And if we do some little thing to keep Wexford strawberries, and a rising tide rises all boats.
Yes, no, I agree.
That'll bring all the fruit
and so tell me about the weekend in terms of what it's a challenging to set up an event like this, a whole weekend, a whole festival weekend in a working farm. So fair play to taking on that challenge. But what are you doing, or what's the challenges in setting it up and getting people to come in the first place, and what's happening?
Well, sure, without the lads enjoying Enniscorthy and without yourself,
yeah,
we wouldn't be anywhere for a start anyway. You know what I mean? We need people like that. So when we have people like that setting up the festival, like I was involved in the Strawberry Festival for years. I was chairman for a number of years there. But still, it's different when you do it yourself on your own, because that was like a snowball. That was rolling, and it was kind of had its own momentum.
Yeah.
Like we're starting this from scratch.
Privately on a working farm.
Oh yeah, and yes, of course there's challenges, but you can look at things like that as a challenge or as a problem, and we certainly don't look at them as a problem. We'll deal with them. Do you know what I mean? And there'll be issues on the day. There'll be things we won't be able to work out.
For me, and I suppose for a lot of people around, the idea of coming to a a working farm and having a festival atmosphere, whether it's music or food or demonstrations or performances or whatever. That sounds good to me. So tell me what might be happening. Let's say if I'm a family person and I'm wanting to bring kids or just want to go there to put in a few hours. What's it look like?
Well, sure, we'll have the Disney characters. So they'll be floating around the farm and interacting with the children and all like that. And that's a part of it. There'll be food demonstrations. There'll be food stalls there selling food. Yeah. There'll be food stalls there just doing tastings. Yeah. You know, and each vendor wants to come in and do their own mix, and we're quite happy. We're only facilitating the vendors coming in.
So if different people from the Wexford food family, for instance, if they want to come in and set up a stand, they can just set it up.
100%,
oh,
yes,
great.
100%.
Well done.
And like that's all we're wanting to do is showcase. Like Wexford food is brilliant.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think food needs that now. Like we need to get away from processed food and come and sample good local food.
Yeah. And when you say food demonstrations, what type of food demonstrations would you have? For instance, what type of...
We have Edward Hayden floating around, and we've Smoke and Soul, and...
All right. These are the barbecue guys?
Yeah. And,
okay, fantastic.
And John then from the Devil's Kitchen, like he's a character, so he'll be worth coming. If there's no one else, only John there, he'll be worth coming to see anyway.
Great,
you know,
great.
So,
and how about a bit of music and...
Oh yeah, music and all like that. Yeah.
Okay. And is it possible for people to come in and pick their own strawberries or something like that on the day? They can do that as well?
Can do that as well,
Okay. So tell me, what time is it on? What day is it on? Or
10 o'clock to 5 o'clock on the 1st and 2nd of July, Saturday and Sunday.
1st and 2nd of July.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking forward to it. What would you like to see? Who would you like to see come, or who will it be? Who is it geared for?
Well, everybody. Absolutely everybody.
Yeah.
But like we have space. That's one thing about our place. We have space. So if you're in a house and you have 2 or 3 children and you want to just let them run around and have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
I think our place is the ideal place, and if the sun is shining, you won't get a better place.
Yeah, okay. Looking forward to it, apart from the challenges?
Oh, absolutely. Sure, it's another, like, we had a barbecue there a few years ago, and I just sat down, we said 10 or 11 o'clock that night, and I just said, we've created this.
Yeah.
And like, if you can't appreciate what you've done, like, because a lot of the times we've done, in the last 4 years, and it's only when people mention it to us, what we've done, because... we don't. If you do something, well, we move on then.
Yeah.
You know, and move to the next project. But like, we have created a lot, and we want to share it with everybody.
Yeah, and look at. Do you know what, Cyril? What I like about the Wexford Strawberry Weekend is if you look at some of the progressive towns or cities in Ireland, whether it's Dublin or Galway or Kilkenny, there's a festival or an event of some type happening, if not every weekend, every second weekend. So there's no reason why Enniscorthy will have a rock and food festival. Last weekend, Enniscorthy had a rhythm and blues street festival, the Wexford Strawberry Weekend. I think it's fantastic for people of the southeast and all to have something to go on many weekends during the summer. So I think it's fantastic that you're doing. For me, from the local area, I really appreciate what you're doing because it's good for the area, it's good for families in the area, it's good to have something to do on the weekend. Now that the Wexford Hurlers are finished for the summer, isn't it great to have this to go to?
Yeah, well, thanks very much, because there is a lot of work goes into it, like, but as I think the very same, because we're on a coastal county and you have people on holidays and they're only looking for somewhere in Wexford to go.
That's true.
So if we don't provide it, and like we can provide it at different levels, like we say the Rock and Food Festival, that's at one level, we're at another level, and like that's what we want. We want different things attract different people. So
it's
why
great.
not do it like?
No, it's great. Well, look at Cyril. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it, and it's great. As I say, GreenTechHQ is all about entrepreneurs. It's all about innovation. It's all about trying to make things happen. So congratulations and well done on making this happen.
Well, thank you very much. And with GreenTech, I'm blown away by the building. It's just fantastic. Well done to everybody.
Yeah, well,
it's some asset in Enniscorthy.
Yeah, I'm delighted. I'm delighted, and I think it will be an asset and an asset for Wexford and the southeast. So let's work on it together. So it's
absolutely
great. Thank you. Thanks, sir.
Not at all. Thank you.
Take care. Bye bye.